In this video, I'm going to explain to you one of the biggest footwork mistakes that you could be making that could be preventing you from getting to more balls and actually hitting the ball even harder. Whether it's the forehand or backhand, you need to watch this video so you find out what this problem or mistake footwork pattern that you might be making is so you don't do it anymore. So I'll see you on the other side. So if you're thinking, what is this mistake that I might be making with my footwork that is causing me to maybe not be able to get to the ball, maybe not be able to hit the ball as hard as I want, maybe causes me to lose my balance? Well, the mistake is how you move on your first step, okay? I call it outside foot movement, okay? Outside foot movement. The reason why this is so important, because if you don't set this one first footwork pattern up or first step up, then you're always going to be behind in whatever rally you hit, or you're always going to put yourself at a slight disadvantage, and you don't want that. Let me explain. So whether you're hitting a forehand or backhand, there's always one sequence of steps that you need to take, and it's called moving with your outside leg. So if I'm hitting a forehand, what's going to happen is I'm going to split step, and as I'm going into my unit turn, I always put my weight on my outside leg. My outside leg is the leg, what I would say, to the outside of whatever stroke you're hitting. So if I'm hitting a backhand, same thing happens. I go outside leg. Now the reason why this is so important is because this outside leg allows us more options if we're going to hit an open or closed stance. I'll show you what I mean. So if I go outside leg here, I still have the option of moving over and loading this leg and stepping forward. Or if the ball's coming really fast, I can go outside leg and I can still hit off the open stance. I see too many players, their first step is with their inside leg. So if I'm hitting a forehand, they split and they instantly turn this way to hit the ball. Now the problem with this is if you look at the way I'm stepping, my heel to toe is going this way. So my power, my transfer of power is going in that direction. But the court's this direction, so that's a major problem. There's no alignment there. Compared to if I go outside leg, even with the open stance, I can use my weight and push slightly forward, even with the open. Or I can go outside leg, then transfer my weight inside the court, okay? The other problem with this is movement, okay? So if the ball's coming fast, and let's say it might be a windy day, and I step across like this, and guess what? The ball starts moving a little further away, I have to do what I call the horsey trot to get up the ball. And even as I do that, when I turn my hips, they lock out and I can't fully rotate. This is a huge problem. So if you're stepping across to get to a ball, you're in a lot of trouble. You're preventing power and it's limiting your movement. Compared to if I go outside leg and the ball moves a little bit more, guess what I can do? I can keep making adjustments. Same thing on the backhand side. Boom. Now, I will say on the backhand side, it's a slight difference based on your stroke. And I'll go into more detail about that. If you're one-handed backhand, your one-handed backhand isn't so dependent on your footwork. What that means is I can go outside leg and still cross over and still hit a great one-handed backhand. Now, you do see players do this with the two-handed backhand, and I still think this puts them at a disadvantage, and we'll talk about the differences of how they do it on the two-handed backhand. In the sense of a two-handed backhand, what you should see a lot of players doing is split and they get on their outside leg first. Again, so I can hit open if the ball's coming fast, or I can shift my weight inside the court, okay? The problem is when you get on your outside leg, but then you step across and you try to swing like this. It locks out your hips, you don't get the full rotation you want, and you don't get the ability to use your hips to generate more power. So this becomes a big issue sometimes. You do see pros, when they're stretched out sometimes, what they'll do is you kind of see them do this action here. Now, granted, they make the shot, it might be a highlight shot, but most of the time what you do see them doing is shifting their weight and shifting into the court. That's gonna give you the maximum amount of power and hip turn that you're gonna want for any stroke. So again, big mistake is if you're crossing over to hit the ball. First thing is you're gonna lock out your hips, preventing you from rotating, and also it's much harder to adjust, okay, either side. Now, if you're a one-handed backhand, you still can step across, but even with that, I recommend you stepping with your outside leg and then getting your weight behind the ball and some rotation. If you're a two-handed backhand, same thing, stepping with your outside leg and then stepping forward to make sure you get that full rotation. So this is Kevin Garlington at TotalTennisDomination.com. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've got something out of it, that you're not gonna go out and use these incorrect footwork patterns that might be taking power away from you, might be putting you in a bad position, okay? So if you like this video, leave me a like below, leave me a comment or any questions you might have, and go out and play tough. And if you want more free great videos just like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel right here, Total Tennis Domination. Go out and play tough.